It is discussed that these determinants are the most important one. If you want to control health problems at community level, you should work on the social determinants of health. When you try to eradicate poverty in a region, in a country, automatically you have promoted the health, because poverty is a factor affecting health negatively. And so on. If you want to promote health at a region, you may try to promote the environment, making it clear, making it healthy, making it supportive environment for health. For example, when you go to a street and you want to have some food, you can see, okay, many fast food restaurants, but for example, just one providing healthy food. This is not a supportive environment. And the other point is that you can buy fast food at a lower price. Fast foods are always cheaper. You should try to make, for example, healthy foods cheaper. This is supportive environment. Or if you go to parks, you can see there are some parquets on the ground for preventing trauma for children. If they fall, then they don't have trauma. This is supportive environment. Or, for example, in the streets, you can see that there are some that they have done something in order to protect people from car accident. It is supportive environment. These are examples of supportive environment. Okay. We will talk more about these things when we have our next course, which is Community Oral Health 1. I think you have it in 5th or 6th semester. So, social determinants of health, intersectoral approach, we talked about this. When there are many factors at community level that are influential on health, so if you want to promote health, you should go through an intersectoral approach. All these authorities, all these organizations should work together and according to a specific program to promote health. For example, think about air pollution. If you want to control air pollution, it is not just the responsibility of one authority. For example, the municipality. The municipality cannot do anything by itself. There should be some other organizations working together in order to make it better. Yes? Of course, for oral health, it's true. For example, Education Department, Ministry of Health, food and food industry, all of these industries, all of these authorities should work together in order to promote oral health. It's not just possible, for example, by just educating in Ministry of Education in schools. Just we tell the students that you should brush, you should avoid eating sugary snacks. It does not work. It can be a strategy, but just one. You should have other strategies. For example, in the buffet of the school, there should not be unhealthy foods. It's useless that you tell the students in the schools that you should not eat sugary snacks, but in the buffet there is just sugary snacks. Okay? So, complex or complementary strategies should be brought together in order to promote health. And then prioritizes health in all policies and health settings. This is the other things that is done by WHO. So the WHO addresses, as you can see here, human capital across the life course, non-communicable diseases prevention. You know that if you think globally, at global level, of course in some countries, for example in some African countries or underdeveloped countries, there are still problems with communicable diseases. For example, malaria. There are programs to control malaria in some parts of the world because it's still there. Or some other infectious disease or communicable diseases. But in most part of the world, the problem is with the non-communicable diseases. Can you name some of the non-communicable diseases that are making problems for the communities, for developed countries, for developing countries? Respiratory problems, for example, cardiovascular problems. You know that the leading factor for death in many countries is cardiovascular diseases, MI and so on, ischemic heart disease. Then, for example, diabetes, cancer, these are non-communicable diseases. Even car accidents. Car accidents are considered as non-communicable disease. These are non-communicable diseases. And you can see in your countries, I think it's the same that, for example, in Iran, the leading cause is ischemic heart disease and car accidents. I think in your countries, the situation is the same. Cancer is the third rank. These are the leading causes of death. So non-communicable diseases are important in many parts of the world now. So WHO tries to tackle with or addresses non-communicable disease prevention. Then mental health promotion, climate change in small island developing states. You know that we have climate change, and it's the concern. Global warming, you have heard about that. It makes some problem. Then antimicrobial resistance, again, this is another concern because of the antibiotics that are taken, that are consumed by people around the world without any indication. Now we have the problem of antimicrobial resistance. And you as dentists, should try to avoid this because you can also prescribe antibiotics. You should do it just if there is some indications, not just, for example, being in the safe side. No, if there is any real indication, you should prescribe it. Otherwise, you should avoid prescribing antibiotics because it exacerbates this antimicrobial resistance. Then elimination and eradication of high-impact communicable diseases. Again, we have some communicable diseases. Sometimes you have outbreak, like SARS, like COVID-19. And so WHO tries to be prepared for them and do something when they are happening and they are occurring and so on. Okay, this is again in Farsi and about Iran for the local students. Can't forget about these ones. Okay, and you can go to WHO website, WHO.int, and you can take your research. You can go through the site, not for your examination, but for your knowledge. If you want to have more knowledge about WHO, you can go through the website. WHO every year, WHO publishes some World Health statistics or World Health Report. This is for 2021, but I'm not sure if the 2024, you can search if this is report 2024, the newest one. And this report has many parts. If you go to its, for example, the first chapter is about life expectancy, healthy life expectancy, and burden of disease, and so on. And there are some other chapters. It is a very just take a look at all these reports. I don't want you to study all of it because it's very long report, but you can focus on some of the graphs. And I will determine, for example, two or one, even one of these graphs, and I will tell you that there is questions in your exam from this graph, and I don't want figures, just the trends. The trends are important. For example, if we can see, you can see here, for example, some trends. For example, this is increasing, these are decreasing, or here again we have trends. Or you can see here trends, okay? We just want these, and just about one or two of these graphs, not all of them. But you can have a look at all of this report to see at least what are the name of the chapters in the beginning, so you can see that what it is about. For example, life expectancy, shifting disease burden, mortality related SDG, Sustainable Development Goals.
Sustainable Development Goals set by UN. Then again, health-related SDGs, risk factors for healthy systems, and so on. You can go through it and have a look at it to know what parts of such a report, World Health Report 2024 has. Okay? But regarding the exam, just 1 or 2 graphs. That I will tell you which graphs. You should just study those graphs. Okay?